So during World War II, the Army Air Corps issued what was known as the Mae West Life Preserver to its bomber crews and fighter pilots. This was an essential piece of survival gear for airmen who had to fly over large bodies of water such as the English Channel, the North Sea, the Mediterranean, or even the Pacific Ocean. This is the early type of Mae West Life Preserver. This is known as the B-3. This was developed before America got involved in World War II, but it saw extensive use by the Army Air Forces during the early years of America in World War II, from 1941 till about mid to late 1943, but it saw service all through the end of the war. It has this distinctive leather patch that was sewn to the front of it. This was so when the airman buckled his parachute harness, it wouldn't damage the fabric material underneath it that the rest of the life preserver is made of. And on the left side, you could see here this dye marker. This was so in case the airman bailed out over water and landed in the water and a search plane was flying overhead looking for him, he could open this up and the dye would mix in with the seawater around him and it would turn a bright yellow color. That way, when the airplane or search plane is flying high overhead and the pilot or a crew member is looking down and sees that yellow marker in the water, they'll know that there's an airman down there that needs to be rescued. This is the second type of Mae West that was developed by the Army Air Corps during World War II. This is known as the Type B-4. It's very different in construction from the earlier B-3. It's much of a more stiffer and much more sturdy and durable material than the fabric B-3 was. And there's no leather patch sewn on the front. The patch here, where the airman buckles the front of his parachute harness, it's made of the same material as the rest of the B-4s. But there are still some similarities. Both the B-3 and the B-4 have these rubber tubes here, so in case the Mae West starts to deflate while the pilot or airman is sitting in the water, he could blow into these and it'll reinflate the life preserver. And also, both the B-3 and the B-4 have the two cylinders here, which contain CO2. And the reason why that is because when you pull the cylinders down, the CO2 cartridges inside will open up and will inflate the life preserver. That way the airman doesn't drown if he had to land in the water. It saw service in all theaters. It started to be issued around 1943, and it saw service all through until the Japanese surrender in 1945.